Mary.
Thank you.
Nine. I've been there. We good, Jim? Yeah.
We understand.
It's all right. We'll just get started and she'll jump in when she gets here. Good evening, everybody. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been published in the borough's official newspapers and posted in the municipal building and on the borough's website. As permitted by the Open Public Meetings Act, the meeting is being held in person and broadcast online via Zoom video meetings. The option to attend via Zoom is a courtesy. If Zoom becomes unavailable and cannot be fixed, the council meetings will continue in person only. For those joining us via Zoom, please raise your hands during designated times to be recognized for a comment. Whether you're appearing in person or via Zoom, you must provide your name to be recognized. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can I get a roll call, Mary?
Councilmember Bonatakis, Councilmember Facey Blackwood, Councilmember Forrest, Councilmember Janone. Here. Councilmember Euro.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano.
Here.
And Mayor Portman.
I am here. I'm sorry she's not here right now. Edith Blake is with family down in Manchester, but we are celebrating her 108th birthday. That's just amazing. Just for some context, when Edith was born, the Great War was still going on. I'm talking about World War I. The Spanish flu hit and killed a whole bunch of people. So Edith has lived through two pandemics. And I'll give you a little bit of information about her. It is my great honor to recognize Edith Blake on the extraordinary occasion of her 108th birthday. Born on February 25th, 1918 in Brooklyn, New York, Edith was the first of four children. At the age of 20, she married Charles W. Blake, and together they raised four children of their own. Over the years, Edith has been a devoted wife, mother, church member, and community caregiver. During World War II, she worked as a seamstress at the Eisner factory on Bridge Avenue, stitching Army overcoats in support of our nation's efforts. Her lifelong dedication to caring for children and serving others in Red Bank, Shrewsbury, and Little Silver has left a lasting impact on so many families. On behalf of the Borough of Red Bank, the Borough Council, and the entire community, we extend our heartfelt congratulations and gratitude to Edith Blake for a remarkable life of service, faith, and family. We proudly proclaim February 25th, 2026 as Edith Blake Day in the Borough of Red Bank. Happy 108th birthday, Edith. Amazing.
Mayor, can I say
Amazing.
something?
Absolutely.
They were supposed to celebrate last weekend, and because of the snow, they didn't. So I'll take that to give it to Rosie. And they're celebrating this weekend, so it worked out perfect. They were sorry they couldn't come today, Rosie, but thanks.
All right. Excellent. We do have our county clerk's running a little bit behind. They have a presentation, but in the meantime, we will continue on, and whenever she gets here, we'll jump to the presentation. Can I have a motion to open the public comment on agenda items only? Can I have a second? All in favor? Anyone have any comments for agenda items only? Anyone online, Jim? No? Anyone? We're good? All right, can I have a motion to close the public comment on agenda items only? All in favor? All right. Next up, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from 2/12/2026? Can I have a second? All in favor? We're going to be done before Christine gets here. Next up is a final reading for ordinance 2026-04 entitled An Ordinance of the Borough of Red Bank to repeal and replace Chapter 205 Affordable Housing of the Borough Code to be consistent with state requirements of the amended Fair Housing Act and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls. This ordinance was introduced on February 12th, 2026. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only? Have a second? All in favor? All right. Anyone have any questions or comments on this ordinance? No? We good? Anyone online? James? All right. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance only? Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2026-04 on final reading and adoption?
So moved.
Can I have a second? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest, Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Councilmember Euro,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes. Oh, perfect timing. That's all right. Just don't say it was traffic, okay? Please. All right, train. All right, train is good. We can deal with train. So right now we have a presentation from Clerk Hanlon, and I didn't get your name, sir. Ted? All right. Ted, they're going to give us a presentation on the plans for America's 250th birthday.
You know what? I don't know. He's a morning Gemini. And so my apology. I know we had to reschedule a couple of times, so we can all give him a hard time for not being here. But I wanted to thank you for having me. This is Ted Maturo. He is the executive director of the Monmouth and J250 committee. And one of the things that we've been doing is going to meetings all over the county to talk about the things that are going on for America's Birthday, and also to encourage participation and try and get everyone involved. Do I need a microphone? Okay. Okay. So we usually do like a little slideshow, if that's okay. Thank you. Okay, so let's get, we have like a little intro video that makes it, kind of gives a little context, if that's okay. The 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America is here.
In Monmouth County, we celebrate not only the birth of the great
The 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America is here.
In Monmouth County, we celebrate not only the birth of the greatest nation in the world, but the significant role our county has played in the fight for independence.
Monmouth County was truly a battleground in the cause of freedom, and when the war had been won, the people of Monmouth County gradually transitioned over to the peaceful pursuits of agriculture, commerce, and industry.
In the almost 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Monmouth County has grown and flourished to be the ideal place to live, work, and play. Join us as we look back on the people, places, and events that have carved Monmouth County's history over the past 250 years.
As we celebrate the birth of the greatest nation on earth. The 250th is here, and Monmouth County is ready. So that sets the stage a little bit for America's birthday. We have been planning for about 3 years for what's going to happen. And one of the first things that we did was to look back in the county archives to see how the bicentennial was celebrated 50 years ago now. And that kind of guided a lot of our planning. And we were able to see what every single town did in Monmouth County to celebrate the bicentennial. And it gave us a foundation for our planning. But 3 years ago, we started our website, monmouthnj250.org. We launched an app recently. It's also Monmouth NJ250, where you can find out everything that's going on. We have an email newsletter that's been going out, and I would love it if everyone signed up so you could hear about all the great things that are happening. And we have our social media channels going. And one of the things that we like to do on our social media is to promote what's going on in the different towns or the different historical organizations so people can really get involved in really anything that they like to do. We did a lot of promotional materials that we give out to people. Our challenge coin, we have some for you also. We have pins and all kinds of things that we give out when we go around to promote the birthday celebration. And we did a postcard. We have a couple of those here, a commemorative postcard. We also do an activity called Send a Postcard to the Future, where people can write something that we save in the county archives for future generations. And another sort of a keepsake we did was our Monmouth NJ250 ornament. And it is a fundraiser for the Friends of the Parks so that we can continue to preserve open space. And I think it's $30 now. When we first started, it was $20, but we had to, because we have to ship it. The shipping is expensive. We ship it to people, but they're still available. We sold a lot during the holidays, and we'll be selling them throughout. And on the ornament is a replica of a very famous painting of George Washington at the Battle of Monmouth. And we got permission from the Monmouth County Historical Association to use that image. And it's really a special memento because the Battle of Monmouth was a very important piece of our Revolutionary War history. We've also done a lot of educational content and publications. We really wanted to get our students and young people involved, although the things that we have produced, adults like them too. They like the crossword puzzle and things like that. But Tom, I'm going to do this for Tom because he likes to talk about the coloring book. And this was hand drawn, no AI or, program software to create the coloring book. And it has some, God Bless America type images. And it also has some pages that are Monmouth County related so that our young people can learn about our history, not just, national history, but some Monmouth County history also. We give these out to all the students. We'll leave some here so that you can have them. We also created our Monmouth County Revolutionary History Guide. And this is, we call in the office, our top 10. And we took 10 people, 10 places, and 10 events that happened that have a Revolutionary War significance in Monmouth County. And many of the places in here are places that people can visit today. And we wanted this to be geared toward our middle to high school students so they can read about the things that happened in Monmouth County. And we took examples of, just people from different walks of life and how they were relevant during that Revolutionary War period, but it's all about Monmouth County. And in the back, we have a lot of activities, and that's why the adults like this one too. We have a hashtag page and all kinds of word jumbles and things like that. So we created that for our students. And so we've been trying to get everything out there. We also did a Revolutionary War map, which has historical places mapped on the paper map. I'm kind of old fashioned in the sense that I want it on paper, and it's like a keepsake, but it's also tied to our GIS mapping system in the county. So you can go online and map to these different locations, and you can kind of view the troop movements from the Battle of Monmouth. So we tried to pair the modern tech with sort of the old-fashioned keepsake map. Let's see what else we have. And we have our Monmouth NJ250 truck that was a repurposed, decommissioned emergency vehicle. And this truck goes to fairs and festivals. It's been going around for the past 2 years already. And there's an application form. So if you're interested in having the truck at something, we usually try to have it go to events that have like sort of at least 500, like kind of like a bigger community event, just because it's, the staffing of it, there's a lot of staff. And so this truck has been going around for the past 2 years, raising awareness, giving out our promotional materials. We have, cornhole and all kinds of games and things to get people interested in what's going on.
As
Oh,
we
truck video.
approach the 250th anniversary of America, Monmouth County is going to be a big part of that celebration. We were a big part of the Revolutionary War, and we certainly are going to be a big part in celebrating the 250th anniversary of America. Behind me here, we are looking at our repurposed communication vehicle. This truck will be at all the fairs, festivals, parades, any special occasions that we have, generating enthusiasm, generating education. I think this will bring to light not just Monmouth County, but across the state of New Jersey, how important our role was in the Revolutionary War. And we expect it to be quite a celebration here, as Monmouth County has played such a large role in the history of our country.
So if you want the truck, just, submit the form. We have the form online and on our website, but we also have, I think the form is in our program guide that I'll leave with you. We also launched some contests to get people in the community involved. So please feel free to share them. We did already 2 rounds of our essay contest for 5th, 6th through 8th graders. And we have done a poetry contest for 3rd through 5th graders. And we already did 2 rounds with the schools, and we just launched our final round as we lead into, the big day, which will be July 4th, 2026. We also have a fine art contest that's going on for people who are painters to create works of art that depict different events that happened in Monmouth County during the Revolutionary War period. And to be a little bit more modern, we also launched a digital art contest that sort of can bring in like some of our younger people who are really good with graphics and things like that. So we have really nice prizes for those contests. So please share if you know anyone who's interested in those contests. The Monmouth County Library has created a tremendous program for America's Birthday. We have some of the flyers here. One of the things that we really wanted to do when we started this 2 years ago was to try and get each and every kind of aspect of our community involved in doing something. So we asked the library system to put together their own program, and they have great things going on. So we'll leave some flyers there with you so you can give them out to your community members. Also linked on our website. And we've created a lot of video content about history, all different parts of our Monmouth County history, but also some that are tied into the Revolutionary War. We have a podcast that we started doing where we bring in either historians or people from different towns or who are planning things for what's going on to kind of raise awareness on America's birthday. And I think I don't want to take up the whole meeting, so we can skip that. All of our videos and things are on Monmouth NJ250 YouTube channel. And we're about to launch a documentary that's about an hour long. It's a long one. About Monmouth County during the Revolutionary War period. And we try to, within that hour, cover with different historians from the state and the county, what went on here during that period. And that will be debuting at the Garden State Film Festival coming up. And we also have like an aerial video of Monmouth County coming because got to get drone footage involved now that we have drones that can do it. And I don't have my glasses on. Well, a few things that are coming up. One of the things that we also tried to do was have a few like county signature events that everyone is welcome to participate in. And then as we encourage our towns and historical organizations to do things too, we advertise those. But some of our signature events are the Flag Day 5K. So if there are any runners in the group who are interested, it's going to be at Bell Works. It's called Stars and Strides, and it's on Flag Day, June 14th, and signups are available already. We are going to have a county parade on June 28th, which is the anniversary of the Battle of Monmouth. It's going to be in Middletown, and there's going to be a festival after the parade. So we encourage any towns or, please participate. We'd love to have representation from everywhere around the county. That is called Red, White, and You, America's Big Birthday Parade. We also are having a gala that you may have gotten a message about that already. We're about to send the invitations out. That will be on June 25th. And this is just a way to come together and celebrate America's birthday. That also will be at Bell Works because it's a big location where we could have like 1,000 people. We're going to have the Infernos, and we'd love every town to take a table. It's going to be on a Thursday night, so we don't interfere with everybody's weekend plans. But we're really excited about that, and all of our legislators in Monmouth County are, co-hosting this with us, and we hope it's going to be a great time. And then also Park Stage, which is a partnership with the Basie. These will be outdoor concerts throughout the summer in Freehold, and all different acts. And the first one is June 18th. It's the beginning of June, but it's on our website. And we're really excited about that, to have our 250 Park Stage. Lots of exciting things happening. And also, if you are someone who likes to walk and get healthy, we have our ongoing 250 for 250 challenge. And this is just a personal wellness challenge to walk or run 250 miles by America's 250th birthday. And if you do that, you get a medal that has, our logo on it. Easy to sign up for that. Lots of this is on our website. This is not something that we are doing in Monmouth County, but I really like to talk about it because it's happening here in Monmouth County. If you remember the bicentennial, for some of us were here. I don't know who, I'm old enough to have been here for the bicentennial. It was a really special time. And one of the big things about the bicentennial was Operation Sail. And if you weren't here for the bicentennial, you can look it up. And it was ships from all over the world came to New York Harbor, and naval ships and, all the beautiful ships with sails. And then they landed in New York Harbor on July 4th. And it was beautiful fireworks display and all kinds of festivities. Well, just like 50 years ago, these ships are going to stop here in Monmouth County from the 2nd to the morning of the 4th. And all of these yacht clubs along the shore are hosting the crew members from all of these different ships from all over the world. And what we're told is that the ships many of them will be anchored off of Sandy Hook. So we believe that's going to be quite a sight to see. Hopefully the weather's good and everybody can see all these ships that are going to be here. And this is also a tourism thing for our communities, because all of these crew members are going to be in and out of Monmouth County for that weekend. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I was not living in Monmouth County at the time of the bicentennial, so I didn't know everything that happened here. I was living in New York. But I think it's going to be a really interesting time, and to go see these ships from all over the world is going to be very special. This is really hard to see. I don't have my glasses on, but it's just kind of like a little itinerary of what the ships are doing. And then they will, on the morning of July 4th, leave Monmouth County and go up to New York Harbor to be received there. And, there'll be all kinds of things going on there. So this is just a listing of our county events that I talked mostly about, but all of these will be on our website and you will be getting them. We're going to be emailing the gala information and the parade information to everyone very soon. One of the things that we decided to do for our towns to make things easier, number one, we asked our towns to pass a resolution. I have to say Monmouth County is ahead of every other county in the state in terms of the towns passing resolutions to support the semi-quincentennial. And so we decided to create a logo for towns to use if they would like a logo. It is based off of our logo, but we put the town name in part of it. And then we give the towns like a plaque that they can hang if they so choose, commemorating the semi-quincentennial. We also created a program guide for the towns so that if you would like to plan something and you're not sure what to do, it has all kinds of background and information and ideas, ways to get in touch with us, all different resources, different entities that have things available, grants and all that stuff. So all that stuff is in the program guide. And since we made it, there's so many more things that, you can find online. And then we should be like at our last, we can skip that one. Yeah. There's some resources out there. I just wanted to point out a few. There is this entity called Keep America Beautiful that is doing sort of like community cleanups. So a lot of towns are using that, as like an idea. There's also the Pomeroy Foundation, and they give grants for marking. It doesn't have to be a Rev War property. It can be like any other historic property. We marked the Minisink Trail in Matawan recently, and they applied for this grant, and they marked the Minisink Trail. The Sons of the American Revolution has a lot of resources, and also so many different things going on. You can keep going. And these are sort of the national and state entities that are doing planning. America 250, Freedom 250, Revolution NJ is the New Jersey entity that is working on the New Jersey celebration. And there's also, I like to tell people, this award that I read about in the League of Municipalities magazine. They're giving an award for communities that, work on civic engagement, inclusiveness, and innovation. And it's kind of for America's birthday, like the All-American City Award. So you can go on their website. And that is the end of the show. I'm sorry it took so long, but thank you so much. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. We'd love to have Red Bank doing things for America's birthday. I'm happy to partner with you on things or support if there's something that you're working on.
Thank you
So,
for coming here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Christine? No? No, we good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, can we do a photo or no?
Sure. I think we have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much. Mayor.
Oh, another one? Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Don't want anything here.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you all.
Okay, I believe we are up to an introduction of ordinance 2026-05, entitled an ordinance repealing chapter 562, sidewalk cafes and restaurants, and adopting new chapter 475, outdoor business extensions, to adopt uniform regulations and fees pertaining to outdoor business extensions. Jim, you want to give a quick summary of that?
Yeah, Greg and I will tag team this one, but this was a collaborative effort with ourselves, the council, mayor discussing this as well. Deputy mayor with her time with River Center as a representative to council liaison, and I'm sorry? Oh, there we go. Sorry, this new system, it's and Councilman Ben Euro now representing us on River Center. But we worked with River Center to discuss some of the fees and the structure around sidewalk cafes, the street eatery extensions, and just how to streamline that process through ordinance with the ordinance that we passed in 2024, with the full establishment of Broadwalk, with the dates associated along with that ordinance, just so that everybody can plan and know exactly what to expect for the opportunity to have sidewalk cafes and streeteries. The sidewalk cafes are annual, so it's a year-round opportunity for businesses. However, in the previous ordinance that was passed some time ago, there was a fee associated, obviously administrative fee, licensing fee, permitting, and then, oh, look at that. Why is that happening? I'm not showing that anymore. Thank you. I don't know if that's for everybody at home because I'm not sharing my screen.
We're learning.
There we go.
I'm not used to seeing it.
Thanks, deputy. But so what we did was that fee structure that was in that previous ordinance was a $2 per square foot initial fee. And then the next year it bumped to a $4 annual per square foot fee.
Made no
So-
sense.
Right. So after reviewing that, looking at that, pragmatically and everything else, we don't want to penalize the businesses that want to partake in the sidewalk cafe. We want to encourage that because we realize that provides a great opportunity for them. It provides a great vibe for our downtown, our businesses borough-wide to take advantage of that. So we cleaned up the structure of that. We also brought in line the streeteries into this sidewalk cafe ordinance, which only address the sidewalk cafe. So now the streeteries are codified as well with a much, I don't want to say much lower, but a reduced fee structure than what was previously in the resolution and application for the streeteries. So we're looking, like I said, to work with the businesses in this regard to offer something that we think is extremely realistic to accomplish and encourage and incentivize the businesses for doing this at $1.25 per square foot for the streeteries. And we realize that those go into the parking spots. So that's the compensation for that parking spot. It's the compensation for our administrative costs. It's the compensation for having to go out and inspect the space and making sure it's safe and working with traffic safety, the police department, and the administration of borough.
And Jim, Ben, you attended the last River Center full board meeting and this was discussed. And I wasn't there. What was the feedback from the full board?
I think it's positive, and I think, I think businesses would be more inclined to participate. And to clarify, we're talking outside of Broadwalk.
Yeah.
So like, I want to see streeteries at Jamian's and Five Dimes and Neapoli. Like, they have a great space. They have the accordion doors. Like, I want to amplify every business's outdoor potential. And
Was there
that-
feedback from any of those specific businesses at the full board meeting that was positive towards this?
I know Neapoli was very interested in it. and
That's great.
They seem positive for the.
Awesome.
at that time it was potential, changes to the structure, and I appreciate Jim, driving it home.
Yeah, we met, internally between the clerk's office, myself, Tom Seaman, our CFO, to see what the best way to structure this was that made the most sense. And then obviously we leaned on Greg to put this into some sort of codification structure for us. It also changes the approval mechanism to align more with our form of government. So which would slow things down, right? As far as council having to approve each application by resolution. This gives an administrative approval from my office, receiving the permits administratively, reviewing that with the different offices, fire marshal, code, traffic, getting those sign-offs through the chief of police, and then, having that departmental review, which I think, because we're here 5 days a week, and moving things through the offices would speed that up. Right, so it just expands that internal safety review between the different departments. Anything I'm missing on that?
No, in summary, we had, this is developed over time as, frankly, really it goes with the ABC, right? The more lenient ABC's been on allowing liquor outside, the more interested food establishment are in establishing sidewalk cafes and outside businesses, because that's a significant margin revenue for them. So since COVID, this has really developed. Our ordinance has kind of been left behind in that it only addressed sidewalk cafes, as Jim mentioned. So this ordinance basically streamlines all of these outdoor business extensions into one section, flat, same fees for people inside Broadwalk, outside Broadwalk. Everyone's being basically treated the same. And the sidewalk cafes that the prior ordinance is really mostly remaining unchanged, except to not penalize people for coming back for a second year, essentially. Not increasing the fees. Basically made two flat fees, $2 per square foot for sidewalk cafes, which was always the initial fee, and that process continues to work the same for everyone. And then we called it outdoor business extension. So whether you're inside Broadwalk, outside Broadwalk, you're using a parking space, a public right-of-way, you have a creative solution for your business, whatever that might be, it has to run through code, police, fire, River Center, if applicable, and then goes to the manager's desk. And then you can just pay your fee and start. If approved by the manager. So it streamlines everything for everybody. It takes all the kind of ad hoc stuff we've been doing since COVID and puts it all in one place with two flat fees and makes everything much simpler for everyone. And also keeps most of our administrative processes with the applications going to the borough clerk, reviewed by the various departments, and the actual materials that we use that people have been seeing that you actually, if you're a business owner, you come here and you pick up the application. We've actually now, this will make the application simpler, but it'll functionally be the same thing. So that's been the idea, to streamline it all. We've codified things at different times, from sidewalk cafes to pedestrian mall. This puts it all under the same umbrella, so anyone looking to do an outdoor business extension goes to one chapter and can figure out what they're supposed to be doing and what it costs. So that's the upshot of it.
I have a couple questions. How does this impact businesses that already have permanent outdoor dining, like Bonacera or Triumph? And Triumph was designed where it's just.
It'll just be cheaper for them.
Just be cheaper for them?
It'll functionally be the same application, be simpler and cheaper, basically. And that whatever they have out there, if it's already been approved, should be good.
Great. And what if you don't have a business directly in front of the sidewalk you want to use? Say, for example, there's somebody who's just outside the Broadwalk that wants to put up a little stand or something. Is that considered part of those accommodations?
It's defined, so the way the ordinance defines it is that you're allowed to do this if it's already a permitted use in the zone, right? So that's the first prerequisite. The second describes it as an ancillary use, and I left the language flexible in that this is a very complicated town that's developed over a long period of time, and so to try to anticipate or confine it directly in front of a store if someone has a corner lot, I left it up to the administrative processes. If traffic safety says it's okay to put it here and it's not going to be a danger, then that'll probably be okay. I didn't constrain it in that way. It was I would mention the sidewalk cafes were previously constrained to really only larger size restaurants, pretty much directly in front of their store, and so we changed that a little bit. And that will be, it might be something we flesh out going further with further amendments, but for now I left it flexible to let the manager and the
the officers who are in charge of this kind of work it out in due course.
Thank you.
Yes, Ben.
So in the case of where a landowner may not be that enthusiastic about having a tenant use the front of the property that they're renting for tables, how does that play out?
So at this point today, the administrative requirements and require the property owner to sign off on the application. So you have to have your landlord's permission.
Okay. So even if a restaurant, couldn't do that if the landlord also did not sign.
Correct. That's the rule today, and that will continue to be the rule.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2026-05 on introduction?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
I'm going to just comment. I think this is a great idea. I want to thank Ben and our team for doing this. One of the things that wasn't mentioned directly is also the economy is tough right now for a lot of our small businesses. And I think us being creative and doing these kind of things for some of our struggling businesses is vital for our downtown. And I agree with the comment you said. It adds really to the town doing this stuff. And I've noticed there hasn't been much. There's been a rollback on these kind of streeteries and things like that. I liked it when we had more of them. So I'm glad that we are listening and making this happen. And that's a yes.
Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Councilmember Euro,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes. Public hearing for this ordinance will be held on March 12th, 2026, the day after my birthday. Anyone have anything they want to pull out and put some focus on in the resolutions, or can we approve them under the consent agenda? Yeah. Everyone good?
Just, sorry, just briefly, do you want to explain 2658? License for a food service push car at the Burroughs Riverfront Parks? I mean, that's a new one, so.
Yeah, so I could, well, I don't want to speak, I'll just, the policy intro, I can give, you can speak to it after that. But essentially to have food service push carts at the Burroughs Riverfront Public Park, so Maple Cove, Riverside Gardens, Marine Park. We're going to solicit for bids for a concession license. We left it open, so I don't know if someone wants to do ice cream, hot dogs, falafel, gyros. We left it open in that regard. We didn't put any requirements on it. Of that nature, the requirements that we did put on it are that you cannot just show up with like a shopping cart and pretzels like it's you're at an NFL football game or a Giant Stadium or a MetLife. You have to have a commercial grade push cart that is appropriately aesthetically proper for a brand new marine park and the area that you'll be working in. In terms of the areas that the push cart will be allowed, it'll generally be the parks. And we'll obviously work with the manager to develop some, ways to get between those areas along the riverfront. And I'm sure that the operator of the push cart will eventually find the most popular spot economically and traffic-wise, or foot traffic-wise. But that's essentially where we're at. The only thing that we did need to do, perhaps we could pull that one out if it's not my prerogative to request it, but maybe perhaps one of the members of council could, is we did not establish a minimum bid for that. That's the only thing that would need to be put in there. Given that this has not existed before, I would recommend a relatively low bid in that regard. And it's also seasonal. This is a seasonal push cart will be open the same time as Broadwalk.
Yeah, I just want to also
Yes, with
say.
reference to Red Bank businesses.
Red Bank businesses.
Yes, forgive me.
Yes.
That's one of my standard terms, but yes, there's preference for Red Bank businesses. And also the final thing I should mention, if people or anyone's going to publicize this or what have you, The push cart I do have in the bid, the push cart would be removed at night. The concessionaire would figure out how to remove it, or would have to reach a satisfactory place to put it with the borough. It can't just be left in the middle of the park at night. That was one other thing I should mention about the operation. Beyond that, it's pretty general. I left it pretty open, other than the quality of the concession itself. Yes.
So there'd be no loud generator or anything like that, right?
No, there's no noise emitting equipment, no music for ice cream, like no bells, no audible. You're not allowed to add call or pedal wares in that way. It has to. We can approve signage and things like that, but in terms of there would be no audible sounds.
Right, and it's not a food truck. It's like a push cart thing, like
Not a
in
food
Central
truck.
Park.
Push cart.
Okay.
Right. Anyone else?
So do you feel that we need to pull it because we need to put the minimum in writing, or do you think we?
No, I just think you need to just decide what it is now, and you can approve the resolution with that amount, and we can insert it.
Well, we'll
Well,
pull it for consent.
Yes.
And we'll vote on the rest. And then, I mean, you are an attorney in multiple towns that do multiple of these ordinances. So I believe we should lean on you for.
I would tell you the minimum bid for a push cart that was ultimately unsuccessful in Bradley Beach was $2,500. And that was at the beachfront. So you have to figure, I mean, Bradley Beach, does about $1 million in beach badges. So there's a lot of people at the beach. So I would say at that, under $2,000, $1,000, $1,500, something like that.
It's a starting point.
Well,
Like
someone can certainly
suggesting.
bid more, and if multiple people bid with different types of products, you might consider more than one. We can, this is I also want to mention, this is a concession, so this is not a bid. Because we're advertising in this way and passing this resolution for a solicitation of a concession license, which is for the sale of goods or services on public lands, you can use price and other factors as your basis for consideration because we're bidding it in this manner. That is permitted by the local public contracts law. That's why we're allowed to give preference to Red Bank residents. We're allowed to give
Red Bank
preference
businesses.
to whether you like the way the push cart looks, the aesthetics. You can use price and other factors that can be considered as part of a concession license. So I should mention that you're not constrained to just money. That's not the only factor. So setting a minimum bid, that won't be the only factor that you'll be allowed to look at in awarding the concession. Yes, sir.
And I'm just going to ask, because this want to make sure it's clear. So this is also an annual thing, like we can tweak it if we don't like the way something works.
So
next
this
year we can
one-
adjust it. It's not like somebody has a right then to have their ice cream push cart, at Marine Park, say, forever, right?
So this is a 1-year license with a 1-year extension at the option of the concessionaire. So it would be a maximum of 2 years.
Do we have, so we don't have a limit on how many? Do we have
Do
to
not.
approve all of them, or can what's the discretion that our manager has with, I don't know, like, let's say if 20 ice cream vendors wanted to sell at Marine Park, is there some level of discretion, or we have to approve all?
Price and other factors considered. So if you like the way that one looks more than the other one, aesthetically, it's got a better look for your park, then you can consider that. And the reason for that is, for example, take ATMs at the beachfront. Perhaps there's an aesthetic that you have at your beachfront or on a boardwalk. Like these, and I use the beachfront example because concession licenses are most commonly used in resort communities. And they bid everything that's on the front, from the ATMs to the food, to the surf camp, to the volleyball, to everything that's on that beach and public lands being offered for a fee, has most likely been bid as a concession license unless it's being run by the town. And so you can choose, if there's 2 volleyball camps that apply to teach at your beach, and one has a famous volleyball player, but they're offering significantly less because they have to pay the volleyball player to show up. You can pick the one with the more famous volleyball player if you think that's the best for your beach. And that's exactly what the concession license is designed for in the local public contracts law. So for those kind of distinctions.
And Mr. Kennedy, you cited the example of the situation in your town.
Yep, Bradley Beach.
So the person paid 2,500
Yes.
and they didn't make it.
They didn't make it, but I also note that there's 5 other concessions on the beachfront that sell food. And there was competition as well.
Okay.
So different scenario, but I was just pointing out that, the opening bid there was 2,500 and that was at a beachfront where there's, over 100,000 people a summer, month.
Thank you.
So I think yours should be significantly lower.
So then we're gonna want to pull that and clarify it, and then we'll do it next meeting.
We'll clarify it and have it with a starting minimum bid of
You
fifteen
should pull it out
hundred.
of the consent agenda, and then we can adopt that when you guys can set the bid and approve it now, and we'll advertise it. It'll be for the public's benefit, have it written to be returnable Friday, April 3rd, so that we can award it 1 month prior to the start of the
I think
concession.
that suggestion from the deputy mayor was good, 1,500.
Okay.
And we can always reapproach next year. These are all experiments, but this also goes back to when we changed over the building in Riverside Gardens Park to a parking authority building. One of the conversations that I heard from residents was that we were losing, concession in the park. And I still hear about that. I still hear about our park experiences, about not having concession in the park. And then I also have heard about that balance of, but how can it be Red Bank businesses or Red Bank residents, and how can it not be a food truck? I mean, this is really, after you boil down a lot of feedback, it came down to, okay, if it's not a food truck and it's not the generators, then maybe it's a push cart. And if it's not that restrictive, then maybe it's a zone. So this is really just an ongoing conversation in the borough about, how we make it more comfortable in our parks when, I know as a parent, when you're in the park, sometimes you just really want a snack or a drink and you don't want to leave the park.
Or SpongeBob Ice Pop, yeah.
But we want to continue to support our Red Bank businesses at the same time. So
I have a question. You mentioned the $1,500. Would that be applied for like a 2-year period? For that,
That would be per year. That would be the annual fee.
what if we lowered it just to encourage competition, more competition, and lower than 1,500? I'm just saying, New York City is $50. I'm not saying go that low. I'm like thinking 1,000 maybe.
I have
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go even lower, but I didn't know how you guys felt about it, but I think,
Yeah.
I think it's something that we have to think about and flesh out a little bit.
Yeah, I think a starting point is going to be a starting point. There's so many variables with these types of things in every municipality. Like, Greg is a valuable borough attorney in that he does work in so many municipalities and works on so many ordinances. But at the end of the day, there's just going to be so many variables, and we just have to pick our own starting point and then learn and grow from there. So whether we start at 1,000 or 1,500, the same way as we learn and grow with Broadwalk and we tweak and we get better, it's going to be the same thing with this. We have to pick a start point and then learn from it, and then we have every opportunity next year to pivot. But I'm fine with $1,000. That works as well. And now that it's been said out loud in a public meeting, I would never want a vendor to think, oh, that could have been the start point. So let's keep it at $1,000 and have that be the start point for us. I agree.
I think too, it's important to establish the skin in the game too for the business. We're improving our parks. We're putting a lot of time and effort into them. We're giving the space for the opportunity to do this. I think it shows the business being serious with the borough in that collaboration. So if that's the starting point, I support that as well.
Sounds good.
Gotta start somewhere.
Okay, so then let's do all the other resolutions. Can I have a motion to approve Resolution 2648 through 2657 under the consent agenda? To have a second? Roll call, please, Mary.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Facy Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Councilmember Euro,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
Mayor Portman.
Yes. Can I have a motion to amend Resolution 26-58 to include a $1,000 opening bid, minimum bid for pushcart concession license annual?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Do we roll call the change? No? All in favor? All right. And can I have a motion to approve 26-58?
So moved.
Right, with its amendment, right.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
That we need a roll call for, right? Roll call, Mary.
Councilmember Bonatakis,
Yes.
Councilmember Facy Blackwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Janone,
Yes.
Councilmember Euro,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
and Mayor Portman.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. More good news from the Volunteer Fire Department. It looks like Maxwell J. Achimov has put in an application for active membership with the Union Hose Company. So good on you, Maxwell. Can I have a motion to open the floor for public questions and comments?
Make such a motion.
Can I have a second? All in favor? Anyone have any questions? Jim, anyone online? Oh, we can see it now. Oh, yes, Barbara, sorry. They're all working, Barbara. They're in the booth. Or do you want the handheld?
We could use a lesson for some of you. You really need to use them, these,
Yes.
Ben. Nice and close, Ben. Couldn't hear a word you said, darling. So we'll talk later. I have a very serious question to ask and then a silly one. I am really concerned with our traffic lights. We are one of the few towns in the country, I think, that does not have signals that make noise for the blind. I think we are behind in that, which is very, very unusual for Red Bank. We're usually ahead of things. We need to do something about it. I don't know how we get away with it. So what can we do?
I got to look into that.
Well, that's good.
It's a start, right?
Do you think it could work a little faster than a crosswalk?
Wow.
Yeah,
Come on, I personally went out there and we met.
yeah. In the middle of the street with our own paintbrushes, yes. Yeah, I'm real concerned. I see people, I mean, seriously, older people and blind people, I mean, that cannot function without some sound effects. And I mean, Freehold has them, you know, come on, guys. We are behind, huh? There's, yeah, a lot of, the majority of the, none of them beep. They don't beep, they don't stay.
And again, we're talking about a lot of state and county roads.
You
Mhm.
know what?
And yeah, no, I agree. We have to bring it back
There
to
is
them.
There is a law called ADA that
Mhm.
maybe we could just say, you know, this does not meet the ADA laws.
I'm with you.
And I have become very aware of this lately because of a new job I've taken, but
Are you referring to the countdown timers?
yeah.
Yes, okay.
Well, no, not even that. When they change from red to green, they make a sound like a chirp, 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 chirp. When it's green, it chirps so that a person understands that this is a green light. They all do the same thing. They chirp like birds. And so this is an international kind of a thing. And we have a lot of crosswalks. We have a lot of places that you really have to be careful and pay attention to the light. And we have a mixed population. We have people with visual impairments. We have people who are old and don't understand, and a lot of other things. So we have to do it. It has to be done, guys. It really bothers the living bejesus out of me. Now that was my grandmother's word. Now my
And it's just real quick, I mean, and like the deputy mayor pointed out, this is a lot of state and county intersections that we're dealing with. I know you know this, but they're required to do it when they update and bring those traffic signals up to standards, which costs a lot of money to
No,
update.
we
Yeah,
pay a lot of taxes.
yeah, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars to change traffic lights.
Yeah,
But
I probably should have asked this question when the county people were here.
I'm trying to answer you. But,
No, I'm only teasing.
but, so I think because the traffic lights
I
are
understand.
obviously in place and when they come, when somebody crashes into them or, knocks them down, or they come down for various reasons, or the upgrades of those intersections, that's when they're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something we can look into, and I'll get an
Yeah.
answer from those entities.
I know that, I know there are obstacles in all of these things, and I appreciate it. But I have become very much aware of this because I'm very active in an organization for handicapped people. And it becomes more and more obvious to me that we have a lot of problems with ADA stuff in Red Bank. But now my shameless ask, Red Bank Education Foundation is having March 11th, a trivia night at Triumph, 7 to 10, $50 a ticket. All the money goes to the school to give grants to the teachers so that they can do special things with the kids in the schools. So if you know anybody and you have a team of 4 or 5, and sometimes just come by yourself and we can find you a team. All right. So I'd like to see all of you there.
Fun night.
And
It's a fun night.
it's a fun night. Yeah, you get to eat and drink all you want. No, you have to pay for that. But
The questions are hard sometimes too.
the questions are very hard. And there are a lot of smart people there.
Yeah.
The young people know everything about
Yeah.
everything, and the old people only know the stuff like
Old-
history and novels and old movies from the 40s and the 50s.
Right.
So, but
So the trick is you get old and
And
young
young.
people on your
and you
team.
still come in last, so it doesn't
I
matter,
didn't
you
get the
know.
spoon once. I came in
Yeah.
last. Yeah.
Yeah, we both come in.
Came in last.
Yeah, we have to. So thank you for listening, and please.
I was wondering about, I have one question about the lights, because I've been in towns that have them and they are really nice. But is there grant money like for ADA stuff like that? Like we could look into?
Just-
Yeah, all right, DOT, right? Some grants maybe to
There-
look into,
there are-
because they
there
are
are
expensive,
grants
right? Yeah, they're
for
expensive.
everything.
I know.
We know, we get a lot of them.
I know you do, and it's good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
But one of the other things too is like the traffic light at Bodmin that's proposed with the Saxon project. I mean, that would be part of that application process
Absolutely.
of making sure that has the signaling.
Yeah, especially that corner. That's a
That-
really bad corner.
Yeah, well, not that needs like an elephant sound or something. It's a terrible
I'll
corner.
bring Barbara there for the ribbon cutting, that.
We'll make you cross the street with the new light.
Sure. The
and
old lady,
I have a
the old lady who's gonna get hit
question.
by
The new fancy light.
About these lights. If they're at a county intersection, then it's a county light, so the county would be the one to pay. And if it's something like a flashing beacon, on a county road, the county would split the costs for the municipality. That was the newest thing, yeah. I just want to make sure they're not going to say, well, we'll split the cost of the light too. So,
But one there is a state road, right? 30, it leads into 35, right? The one. Then it's a whole nother thing, right?
If it's controlled by the higher jurisdiction.
Oh,
So if
state would-
it's county and state, then it's controlled by the state. If it's county and town, it's controlled by the county.
Right, okay.
Anyone online, Jim?
Well, also on your traffic rules, lesson of the week, if it's within 150 feet of a state highway, then you must contact the DOT to do anything within that 150-foot zone, because that's where their jurisdiction extends.
Got
Can I
it.
have a
Thank you.
motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Christina, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Mayor. Couple of things. Just wanted to mention, this weekend I had a lovely time visiting the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center with a couple of council members, Councilwoman Janone, Nancy Facey Blackwood, and the mayor. It is a beautiful space. Maple Hall is what it was called, historic building that was the residence of T. Thomas Fortune, who was really a pioneer of the Black press. So it was a great place to visit during Black History Month. And there's still a little time left during Black History Month. I encourage anybody to take a visit. It's very interesting. They have great guides throughout the place. They call them fortune tellers. that will show you around. They have wonderful exhibits and also some programming. There's one more movie that they're going to be having, and they also have some films that they're going to be screening there for Women's History Month next month. So I encourage everyone to take a look at what they offer and pay it a visit. It's a really great asset that we have in town and a very important and interesting part of our history. Aside from that, I just want to thank again anyone who was involved in cleaning us out after this latest snowstorm. So DPW, Jim, the mayor and deputy mayor, everyone who got their cars off of the streets. I think we were back in gear after the second one, but it felt almost like this wasn't as major as it was. So I really appreciated that. And Jim, I will just ask for a friend, if anyone sees an issue where there's remaining snow or ice as a pedestrian, because it happens. I was just talking to Councilman Euro. We walk a lot in town, so it's after these storms, it's navigating again. Where can you go on the website? What's the best place to put that information?
Yeah, on the website, there is that report of concern tab that anybody can go and use. Obviously, even emailing myself or code enforcement. I will say that you might not see it and the condition might still remain, but likely those instances were ticketed and enforced already.
Yes, right. When it's not the town, it seems like we did an amazing job. So proud. But there's still an occasional business, sidewalk, what have you, intersection. So it's great to know. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, just to echo that, shout out to Public Works and Jim. Awesome job. I feel like we set the standard for that level of service. Like pretty much immediately, there was a noticeable difference to Christina's point. Much appreciated as a active person in town, but just in general, I think it's an awesome job. Again, out there today, gigantic trucks every time I turn a corner, so it's good to see. Just keep punching above our weight in all realms. River Center, a lot of exciting stuff coming up for the spring and summer. They calendared some of their, call them tentpole events, like the main events for the year. We have the Dog Walk on Broadwalk, Saturday, May 16th. 72nd Annual Sidewalk Sale, August 7th, 8th, 9th. We have the Pop Culture Festival, which was talking to Marin and Tom at River Center, they were really surprised at the turnout for that. So they're excited to put it on again this year. The Pop Culture Festival, September 19th. And then my favorite event in recent memory, Oktoberfest, Saturday, October 10th, with a rain date of October 17th. Then on top of that, it's going to be a very exciting year for Broadwalk. A lot of planning's in motion. There's going to be monthly calendars going out with programming. So everyone will be aware of what's going on. A lot of the businesses are going to be corroborating with those events. So we're really excited about that. And calendar invites going out across social media for the major kickoff event we're going to do this year, May 15th. It's a Friday. It's the first Friday of Broadwalk. We're really excited. A lot of cool stuff planned, so more to come, but really excited for the spring and summer. Best time of year in Red Bank.
Thank you, Ben. Nancy?
Hi, I'd like to join in with praising the hard work of DPW, and I also want to thank the administration and the OEM team. I want to say the communication was amazing. I mean, when we weren't getting texts, we were seeing email blasts, phone calls, as well as all over social media. And one thing that I was very happy to see this go round, when residents were asked to take their cars off the streets, that the train station was on the list as a place where people can park. And I know that people on the west side, do have concerns about having to go all the way to Count Basie Fields or all the way to White Street. So the train station was a very good compromise. So Jim, thank you for working that out. Moving along to the Environmental Commission, I just want to remind everybody that they're having a sustainable yards presentation. Grass is overrated. gas-powered leaf blowers are not your friend, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be on the 24th at the Red Bank Public Library. And if you want to learn more about being green and clean, you can come to the Green Fair. And that's going to be on the 22nd of April, the actual Earth Day at the Red Bank Middle School. If I may go, Jim, I'd like to say that the Completing Green Streets Committee met this past Friday, and we met with the consultant that is doing the work for to our Vision Zero program, Safe Streets for All grant, and they gave us an introduction, the timeline, and what the components are for the action plan. So they expect a lot of communication coming in the next few months. There's an ongoing bicycle survey. Please take it if you haven't already. That's about all I have. Thank you. Oh yeah, one more thing. After the council meeting, I've noticed that the Borough YouTube page does have the video of the meetings for anyone who's interested. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Forrest?
I don't have anything to say. I think I covered all the things. I think I covered it all. We had Parks and Rec meeting. I went to RBR on Wednesday. I wasn't planning to go, but they had that little flooding incident, so I thought I'd go over and hear the details upon that. Glad you don't have any indoor ice skating over there. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, Laura, you're up.
Okay, so I'll be long then. Actually, have typed up stuff because we had so much stuff going on. Mayor Wellness campaign. So we had the Mexican consulate at the senior center Saturday. I happened to be there taking blood pressures with the Parker Clinic and my husband, Joel Genome. So we had 125 people made appointments, but there were a lot of walk-ins. So Audrey updated me that they had about 250 people assisted at the day of the event. I want to give a shout out to everyone who planned it. Adriana, AFSC, CIRC. I mean, it was just really, really organized. And so Johanna and Audrey sat at a table in the front. So they were putting people in and answering a whole lot of questions. So some people got back to see the Mexican consulate himself, and they had a lot of questions about things that were going on. And so they did over 125 people that saw the consulate. They did 20 legal consultations, 30 power of attorneys. I know Joel and I did a lot of blood pressures. Thank heavens everybody's pretty healthy for the stress that people are under. They had 3 crisis interventions. They did hook them up right away because we had CPC there. Brenda was there with CPC. Actually, one of them has already been seen a counselor already. They saw the mobile response was there. So it was pretty amazing to see our community in action. So it was a great day. So then we did go over to see Thomas Fortune, and the emergency system went off while we were all sitting there. So that worked too. So thank you again. Yeah, it was like we're all like buzzing, like sitting there. I heard the mayor's, mine went off. And I was like, what is that? And then we come home, Joel said, mine went off too. So it was good. Thank you. February 18th at the I talked about that, about the senior center. And well, we had a meeting at February 18th at the senior center with all the stakeholders involved with Mayor's Wellness. So there were 18 stakeholders that came. I think we thought 7 were coming. We had a kind of small table, and then 18 people showed up, which was great. Lunch break, lots of people from the community, a lot of stakeholders were there. Count Basie, I won't mention them all, but a lot of people showed up. So we went over a lot of our missions and goals, what we've been planning. We meet every Wednesday, the leadership team, Susie Dyer, Audrey, Fantoma, and Brenda from CPC. So we meet every Wednesday. And we had a lot of ideas that we brought forward, but then the stakeholders had more ideas that they give us. So we're looking into all those too. So we have everything mapped out pretty much for the whole year. We have February, I told you about the Mexican consulate. March, we have Blue Zones lecture on March 11th. That's going to be at the senior center. That I have a flyer up here about that. She's a physician that volunteers now she's a cardiologist. She volunteers now at the Parker Clinic, but she had a big practice, and she's going to be talking about blue zones, living longer, living better. And that's going to be right after bingo on a Wednesday. And we know when we have something after bingo, a lot of people from the senior center stay for lunch. So we get a big thing, but it's open to the whole public. Strategic planning, right? That's what that was. In March. So that's what we're having in March. On April 11th, we're having an expungement clinic. We just firmed that up. In May, we're having a women's health talk. Patty White from town, and she's midwife, is going to be talking. I'm going to talk to her about that tomorrow, about some topics for that. Probably on a Wednesday, we'll do that at the senior center too. She says she's fine on Wednesday because she also volunteers at the Parker Clinic also. They're having a sneaker giveaway in the Parker Clinic also in May. Then there's the August sneaker giveaway at the lunch break, which we all attend. And then, of course, the November turkey giveaway. So we're really busy with Mayor's Wellness, but it's all good stuff. The library meeting is tonight at the same time. That's why Steve's not here. I just same time. So, but I did go to the library the other night, Joel and I, it was Tuesday. It was the talk on restoration of the 1888 Class 1 ice yacht called Rocket. That was the most interesting talk. The team that restored it, one man that was on the team, had pictures of the whole thing and how many years it took to restore that. And it was just really very interesting. And it was really well attended. A lot of people interested, I guess, because of the race this year. Animal welfare, they donated $250 to the Andover shelter that had the fire in it up in Andover. The rabies clinic, as I mentioned last time, is May 2nd up at the First Aid on Spring Street. That will be an all-day event. And then Ben Uro has mentioned that May 16th, we're going to have the dog walk on Broadwalk. So that's it for me. Thank you. And thank you to DPW and everyone who cleaned the streets so nice.
Thank you, Laura. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. To start out by congratulating former Councilwoman Juanita Lewis on receiving her Black History Month Award from LD11. Myself and multiple people on this dais were present on unfortunately, it was a Zoom. It was going to be an in-person event to honor the honorees, but then there was more snow on Wednesday, so we were on a Zoom, but it was wonderful to see Juanita recognized for her years of service to the borough on the council, on the Board of Ed, with lunch break, and also, of course, this is a Democratic event, so of course with the Red Bank Democratic Party for years. So congratulations to Juanita Lewis. I have a report for the Red Bank Housing Authority, as I am the liaison to that now. So on December 10th, the HCB team held a very successful homeownership seminar, which provided information for clients about homeownership under the HCB program. Presenters included representatives from Affordable Housing Alliance, Exit Real Estate Agency, Ocean First Bank, and Loan Depot, who provided invaluable information to the 8 participating HCB clients. On January 14th, the HCB team met with Affordable Housing Alliance to perform mock presentation for the Getting Your House in Order to Prepare for Client workshops. On January 19th, the Executive Director, Lisa Richardson, represented the RBHA at a welcome table, which I know a lot of us visited, at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. commemorative event at the Vogel as a community partner and provided information about public housing. This was a new step for our housing authority, and the outreach was well received. And it was great just to provide transparency and to just inform the public at large about what the housing authority is, what HCB is, and what they do in the community. Development program, Executive Director Lisa Richardson worked with Northwest Financial, NW Financial on RFP drafts. RFQ for environmental consulting services was published January 10th with a due date of February 10th, and RFPs for developer partner, architect/engineering services, and for construction management consultant were published January 22nd with a due date of February 26th. The Executive Director worked with Northwest Financial on significant amendments to the 2025 5-year PHHA plan and public hearing notice, which were published January 26th with a public hearing date of March 18th. The Red Bank Housing Authority Redevelopment Committee, which is Commissioners J.P. Nicolaides, Alpha Reynolds Lewis, And Jones had a virtual meeting on 1/27/26 to provide an update on progress to date, including preparation of publication of the RFQ and RFPs, the significant amendment to the 5-year PHA plan. Obviously, all of this is around the redevelopment of the housing authority. That's why it was titled redevelopment. Public hearing is scheduled for March 18th at 6 p.m. And the resident information notice of resident meetings, which were February 19th at 1 p.m. and February 26th today at 6 p.m. All meetings for the residents are held at the Evergreen Terrace Community Room. If any of that was a lot to absorb in this report, luckily Lisa Richardson, the Executive Director of the Housing Authority, is coming to our March meeting to touch base and give a full report in person as well about the progress around redevelopment of the Housing Authority and where it stands in that process. As far as the Community Equity Engagement Committee, they've been doing great outreach to businesses and working on just like an entire, basically like business mapping for the borough, which is something we've never had in Borough Hall, and they're working together with community engagement just to have a better understanding of like all the businesses in the borough and just having that, you know, community solidly formed. They're working on the Community Spirit Award again, which is a wonderful addition to the borough. So I'm excited for that to come out again with applications. And they've welcomed in new members who have, you know, more interest in the social media and are younger. So I look forward to seeing more creative posts come out of that collaboration. And again, I just want to stress my deepest gratitude to the government of Mexico and the Mexican consulate and their embassy services for just being so beyond in this moment in history. I'm just full of gratitude for the amount of resources that Mexico is giving right now and their preparedness in this moment. It's miraculous that the work that they're doing and the partnership we have with them in Red Bank, and I'm full of the deepest gratitude. So thank you so much to the consulate and to everybody who works so hard as a team here in the borough. There's nothing like it in the state of New Jersey, and it's beautiful. So thank you to the entire governing body and to every single borough employee and every single partner and nonprofit that makes it possible. And it's extremely special to hear that many appointments, you know, are happening. It's life-changing. So thank you.
We've heard a lot about the Public Works Department and the work they did, but I got an email today, or was it yesterday? No, it was yesterday. And I want to share it with everybody because it was very cool to receive it. Usually I get emails if people either have a complaint or they just have a genuine problem they need some help fixing, but this was neither. Dear Mayor Portman, I'm writing to thank you and all of the dedicated professionals who put in long hours to clear the streets during this last winter storm. As I was clearing my driveway and starting the process of removing the heavy snow the plows had pushed to my side, a white pickup truck appeared. The driver, a young man named Timothy, who was in a Red Bank truck, saw what I was dealing with and offered to push the accumulated snow into an empty corner of the edge of my driveway. That simple gesture saved me time and a lot of effort, and at 63 years old, maybe more. I'm not sure of Timothy's last name, but I wanted to share my story, and if you see him, thank him for his kindness and for making Red Bank a great place to call home. So that summed it up for me pretty good. Oh, he let him know. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's all I got. Jim, you want to give your manager's report?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I mean, right, we're seeing a ton of snow, and some of it has not been seen for the last 10 years, which creates a strain on many different operations around the borough, but we've been working through it. I mean, the guys have done a tremendous job. I mean, I've been out there in the middle of Broad Street watching the operation, talking with the guys in the trucks and getting the game plan, what we're doing. Just yesterday, we kind of switched gears and did a quick operation on Broad and Monmouth, Wallace, Linden. We continued on White Street today because it's important for us to keep commerce going in this town and to open up parking and the ability to get to the curb and of course, for the borough to get to the meters and, continue, because everything suffers when we have this much snow, and we know that the businesses do. So we contracted with Red Bank Recycling on Monday for an 8-hour shift. We used 3 of their trucks, roll-off trucks, along with one of ours. We used 2 of our front-end loaders and one of theirs at an off-site location where we trucked, I forget how many tons of snow, but many truckloads over an 8-hour period. And Red Bank Recycling was very accommodating to our needs. I'm very thankful for that partnership. Of course, we paid for it. And it was, it comes at a premium when you're working with snow and snow removal operations. But I felt like it was very important to weigh that balance of losing revenue, losing commerce in the town, the businesses not being able to open up as much as they want to and as appropriately as they want to. So we dedicated one full day to that down there. And of course, throughout the week, our own operations are going to continue with Public Works. And you would have seen them out there today. Monmouth, White, so they were working a lot today. So, I mean, just to put in perspective, right? 15 parking lots between the schools, all of our municipal lots, the various areas that we handled, over 23 miles of borough roadway that they clear throughout the night. We have over 16 trucks out on the road. We have close to 10,000 feet of sidewalk that they clear. And the whole idea is to get us up and running as quickly as possible. I know I was in contact with the guys 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, talking with them. Saturday, we got together at 3 p.m. on a Zoom call between our chief of police, Frazee, Lieutenant Kovar, Tommy Welsh from OEM, Mike Welsh from the fire department, putting crews on standby. We had Adriana and Fatima from community engagement. We had Terrence and Jerry from Public Works. All of us, sitting in our kitchens talking. The mayor was on the call with us as well as part of the Emergency Management Council. So it was important for us to strategize, talk about what we're expecting, look at the latest reports as to what was going to be coming in. Parts of Monmouth County did see more than us. However, we prepared for exactly what we were being told was coming, which 2 feet of snow can be pretty crippling at one time. And it came down at, 2 to 3 inches per hour. Those guys were working in blizzard whiteout conditions. And, at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you had already been out there for many hours, I give them a ton of credit. They went to the senior center at one point to kind of take a load off, relax. I said, let's get some food over there, feed the guys, let them, shut their eyes for a little bit, and then they were right back at it. So they did a tremendous job, and they're still doing a tremendous job. So I'm truly thankful for everybody across the board, across this borough that coordinated, collaborated, and communicated throughout this entire storm. They've been tremendous. So hats off to everybody there. And over the weekend, in between snowstorms, I was happy to represent the New Jersey Municipal Managers Association. I was asked by the New Jersey League of Municipalities to give a presentation to the newly elected officials orientation with myself and a colleague of mine, Jesse Molman from Fanwood. And we gave a great presentation to newly elected officials as to how to work effectively with your administrator or your manager of your town, what to expect, what pitfalls to look out for. It was I did this little funny shtick of like how you can accidentally and unintentionally undermine your administrator. So, which I think everybody kind of got a kick out of because they're like, man, I think I do that, and I'm like, it's okay. We're all learning. And I even said, I'm like, everybody's so well-intended in the room that you may not even realize it when, you're going from department to department and trying to change things while your administrator is trying to run the town. And I constantly talked about this governing body and the actions that you took in the last couple of years to make sure that was something that was so much more streamlined and more effective. And I think that a lot of people looked up to that model. And it, like I talk about as well, like through the International City Managers Association, it's something that's widely accepted across the country is this model of municipal government. So kudos to everybody here.
Jim, I had somebody reach out to me
Okay.
from a neighboring town
Oh.
that was just elected. No, and they were like, you have the best manager. It was the best class I had. They were like, I learned so much. They were like, it was applicable information. They said that you gave real life examples of like why chain of command matters. And like they found it to be the most useful class of the day as a newly, like they just, obviously they were just elected. They've been in office for like a month, but yeah, she
That's
told,
awesome.
yeah, so good. It was really nice.
I was happy to do it, you know, drive up to the Meadowlands on a Saturday in a suit.
I was like, he's not leaving Red Bank, so.
Yeah, not going anywhere. So that was good. And then one last update is the Basie returfing project. We're obviously delayed in that project. So once I have a better construction timeline, I will give that as well. And we're also obviously delayed on the Linden Place improvement project as well. So once I have those updated project timelines, I'll present them.
Thank you, yeah, Ben.
I really like the police coming on our street in the neighborhood with the, in front of houses. I don't know if I got the sound right,
That's perfect.
but it helped a lot because I don't know that our penalties are really too much of an incentive, but people got out of their houses and moved their friggin' cars for a change, because that was a big problem when I don't know about everybody else's street, but.
Well, I have to say, it's important that we deliver that message in English and Spanish. We put the notices out on cars ahead of time of the storm again. You're right, the pink leaflets, all this stuff I think matters.
My street didn't have a car.
I think people were in their
Right.
houses just
Lighten
to
up.
call our bluff.
And you see the difference. You see when we're able to plow curb to curb. The cars that did remain were ticketed. They were ticketed. We are being consistent with that message because you have to be. But I have to say that I'm extremely thankful and grateful for the community members that did help us out in that regard. It's truly a big help. However, it can be done. It just showed that it can be done. I know it's an inconvenience. I know timing matters and all those factors are taken in place, but it can be done. And the community showed up for us and therefore we're able to show up for them. And it's appreciative.
Now, I didn't know that we're using the senior center also as a flop house when we have to.
That's right.
That's something I never knew about. Do we have like cots in there or?
We do, yeah. There's couches.
No, there's a generator.
And we bring cots over as well that we have.
You haven't stayed there, have you?
No, not yet.
Thank you.
Can I
Nice
have,
work, manager.
can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you guys later.
See you later.
What did you say? What did you say? Cooperation, coordination, collaboration, is that what you sound like Walt Frazier announcing a Knicks game. You ever listen to him?